Hi, we're live here at the Horizon International office in Pendleton, Indiana, and we are speaking with Mercy and Derrick Banda, our Horizon International Zambia Chongwe region team. So welcome to the U.S. I have some questions for you.
Thank you.
Mercy, what is your role in Zambia?
So in Zambia, we are project directors, serving these orphans and making sure we do the project, the progress reports, we do the profiles for the kids, and we identify which kids are orphans and which ones are like in a desperate situation. And yeah.
Okay, so you do like a child sponsorship type program.
Yes, ma'am.
So what does that child sponsorship program look like when you're there? What duties and what things do the child get?
Okay. So when a child is sponsored, on a monthly basis, they get food parcels,
Okay.
of which that consists of a 25 kg of our mealie meal, which is corn powder, and that we use that as our staple food. And they get sugar, they get washing soap, they get bathing soap, they also get toothpaste and lotions. We normally get like a quite big hamper, like a full package for them. We also get them proteins like beans and soya pieces for them, just as a supplement, because it's quite hard to get proteins where these children that we serve comes from.
And what about school? Do these sponsorships also get school
Yes.
fees?
Yes. So with these kids, with the sponsorship that comes in, we also pay for their school fees.
Okay.
And we get them uniforms, because most of our schools, they the pupils, which are students, they wear uniforms, and so we buy them uniforms, we get them books, we get them pencils and papers that are needed for them to go to school.
And you and Derrick both do delivery of every single item that goes to the schools and then also goes to each child, correct?
Yes.
How many children do you service in your area?
So we've got more than 200.
More than 200?
I should say 245 children that are sponsored, and more than 300 plus that are still on the waiting list.
And Derrick, how does this benefit a family when one child is even sponsored?
Well, the benefit is wide, because just like Nessa's explained, when a child receives that hamper, it's not only that particular child that benefits from the same. So the whole family actually benefits from that. So that really goes a long way. So you can imagine if in a home, maybe they've got 2 children that are sponsored, which means those hampers would cover, a great deal in that particular month.
And looking back at our country, employment is so difficult, and we have about 75 to 85% of people that are unemployed. So when this help comes in, it does not just help the child, it helps the entire family.
Yes. And most of the families, since they're orphans, they're taken in by a group of caregivers, maybe grandmothers or aunties, correct? And so how many children are generally in a household? Is there normally, like in America, 2 children, or are there quite many?
No, mostly our families are big, and the situation is pretty bad in the areas where we're serving. I'll give an example of one household. Maybe a poor grandmother who's very old might have maybe 6 to 10 children that are entirely dependent on that grandmother.
Okay, and the kids cannot go to school unless they are sponsored and have their school fees paid, correct?
Correct. Because even their meals, they can't have like 3 proper meals in a day if they're not sponsored. So the sponsorship also helps them to at least eat well and then go to school, and they have this hope.
Yes, which we all need hope. And what are some of the biggest rewards that either of you can either one address this question, what are some of the biggest rewards that you've seen from the sponsorship program as it's been progressing over the years?
I think it's been very positive in terms of rewards. These children that once did not have hope of receiving, decent education, having 3 meals in a day, being taken care of in terms of medication when they are sick. All that has been catered for in their lives. And also in terms of building leadership capacity for even Horizons being the orphan care ministry, it has helped us so much. We've got a very powerful testimony of a young man called Jonathan Mshayahama, who was young at a time, very desperate for sponsorship. So through Horizons, this child was sponsored, and now he's one of dependable young leaders whom, when we move like this, we know there's somebody who can take up what we exactly do back home. So all those are kind of benefits that we are enjoying, but also seeing where these strong relationships have taken us, through with the children, the caregivers, and also the positivity of the trust that Horizon has bared through the legacy of the sponsorship, through the partnership with the church also has been awesome.
Okay, so the whole community is actually benefiting from even just one child being sponsored, because it gives hope to the rest of the community that these children will be taken care of.
Sure.
And how about you personally, Mercy? Like, what is the personal reward that you receive from doing the work that you do?
Okay, I think I've gotten a lot of rewards from serving with these kids, of which the one outstanding one is the relationship with these kids and their caregivers. When I talk of relationship, is back home in Africa, families are big. We believe in so much big families and big relationships. And so looking at how I grew up without parents, without siblings, and when I work with these kids, I feel like, wow, I've got siblings. Wow, I've got parents from these caregivers. I feel like, wow, I belong.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful, you do belong.
Oh.
Now, of course, we also have struggles and shortfalls, difficulties through this procedure as well. And what are some of the difficulties through what you've been going through as project directors in your particular area?
I think being allocated, or being, people that are serving in the rural areas or country rather, our roads are not so good. So getting to one center to another has been a challenge in terms of transportation, because you can have a good vehicle but they don't last long. So transportation has been one of those big deals in terms of the challenges that we are facing. But also, we work for long hours. If you like, it's more like a service that is 24/7, because at any given point in time you can receive a call, and such a touching call, like a child is very ill, would you please help us? So even when it's at night, we have no choice in such instances except to step in and offer the required help. And also in terms of culture as well, before we moved to Chongwe, based in a city, so we had to relocate to a more rural place. We had to learn the culture, which is not like a one-day deal. It takes time, to learn culture and suit into there. So those are some of the challenges that we've been facing, but also too much expectation from people. And lastly, we've got a huge number of children that were registered and are still not sponsored.
Yes.
So that has been our cry. That has been also a huge challenge that we hope that someday, with the partnership with the American church and the individuals, that at least can be addressed soonest.
Okay.
And maybe just to add on the challenges, the other greatest challenge that we've been facing is when a child finds a sponsor, and then down the road the sponsor decides they can't go on. So that has been like one of the hardest things for these children, even for us as their leaders, just to tell them that you are deactivated. That is a big thing. And for them it feels like, oh, I lost my parents. That time it was my mother and then my father, maybe my sisters, because these children, they experience a lot of deaths, a lot of loss. And so once they are told that, it also feels like another rejection has come in. I've lost again. Am I really wanted? And so some of them, they even suffer that so much deep because they feel like it is their own fault that they've been dropped out the sponsorship.
Well, we just want to thank you for all of your work that you've done in Zambia, and thank you for being a parent to so many children who need you and all your loving service. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.